I'm Christine Lee Smith, and I'm here today to talk to you about why I went to get my MFA after being a commercial photographer for well over 10 years. So, my story begins around, well, it doesn't actually begin, but a pivot point in my story is around 2006 when I started out my photography business. I loved photography for years, had worked in and around it for a long time already. But by 2006, I realized with great encouragement that it was time to go out and pursue my own thing, to start my own business with photography. And so I did. And over 10 years between 2006 and 2016, I worked almost primarily, exclusively, as a commercial photographer. I did everything from marketing photos for large corporations to weddings to family portraits to commercial portraits to travel photography to anything that allowed me to photograph people and turn an income is what I did. And during that time, I ended up getting really burned out and a little confused because while I still loved photography, it wasn't itching the same scratch. And I was left wanting and really tired and not creatively inspired or energized any longer. And I realized around that time that I was actually being internally invited into something deeper with my photography. I had already begun to explore the connection between creative practice, specifically photography, and spirituality, and had begun to develop some workshops around that were so much fun. And I realized through that process of running those workshops and leading people through their own creative blocks that I was facing a major creative block of my own. I had spent 10 years telling everybody else's story, but not telling my own through art or through my photography. And that was the missing thing. That was what was leaving me so drained and so burned out as a commercial photographer. So I ended up, because I love school, I love grad school. It's always been a source of great joy and satisfaction for me. After looking around at different types of programs that might be possible, I ended up landing on MFA, which is a Master in Fine Arts. And I landed on that one for a couple of reasons, but probably most practically because there would be an outcome that would allow me to teach photography in a formal setting. And that was something I had long desired to do. So there was a secondary benefit to getting my MFA. So I enter a program at a school called Azusa Pacific University in the summer of 2017, and almost immediately began to unpack my frustration with what I thought. I thought the problem was photography, and quickly realized that the problem was actually me and not having that avenue for creatively telling my own stories. But for all the skill I had in photography, for all the people I had taught how to use their cameras and how to process film and how to make prints in the darkroom, for all of that learning and skill that I had possessed and was able to offer back to others, I was missing a crucial piece of telling my own stories, which was developing my conceptual framework. And so throughout the 3+ year journey of my MFA, I really focused on how to understand what a conceptual framework was, and all the way down to how to develop one into a photographic project that I was passionate about. So obviously there was many other things I learned while I was there. But the basis that really was the ground that everything else grew from was this idea of what is the story behind what I'm photographing? Why am I photographing this thing, this place, or these people? What is the connecting thread that makes me curious? And how can I articulate that interest and perhaps even realization to the people who later see my work? So if you are a burned out photographer, if you hated high school but you love learning, I might encourage you to get your MFA. It's not going to be, how do I say this? It's not going to immediately bring in the big bucks. If that's why you're doing it, then you'll probably be really disappointed. So don't do it for that reason. But if it's an opportunity that's available to you and it's something you need to investigate for yourself about why you're making work outside of the commercial space and what makes that important, why do the stories that you're curious about need to be told today, then an MFA can be a really great place to do that. And obviously, there are plenty of other opportunities and groups that meet that can offer you that kind of feedback. So, depending on your situation, maybe one of those is actually a better fit, definitely less costly, usually. But if you need help finding an art network or an MFA program, go ahead and comment down below and let me know why you're thinking about doing an MFA, or maybe why you chose not to and that was the best decision for you, because that is absolutely possible. Or if you did it, maybe comment down below why you regret doing it. Maybe it didn't end up being a great decision for you. But let me know what your thoughts are around an MFA and why or why not you have done it or considered it as a photographer. So if this was helpful or interesting to you or sparked some ideas, go ahead and hit the like button so that you can see more of these kinds of videos on YouTube. And if you really liked what we're talking about today, then hit subscribe as well so you'll get all the future videos that I post. All right, have a great day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.